this, though, is trying to figure out how to be kind of comfortable within the solitude, if that makes any sense. Now, I'll explain. Kind of like, I'll explain how I kind of started to be more comfortable within myself and in my solitude. Um, and, like, I mean, we all have different ways of kind of adapting, but I'll kind of explain kind of what kind of got me to that point where I just kind of became comfortable with the whole, being kind of like by myself situation. Um, but anyways, let me try to find some stuff to kind of get everything started. I'm gonna start with some kind of light activation. The way I use incense is just odd, which I completely understand. But I'm gonna light that in a minute. I need you for later. So, what was I gonna say? So, in regards to loneliness, I tend to feel like it stems from, like, it's kind of like what I was talking about in the last video, like that feeling like you don't belong, like you don't fit in anywhere, and that like your tribe is just not there. It's just like you're just by yourself. It could also stem from the fact that maybe, you just lost a loved one that, was very important to you, either through death or, through breakup, through divorce, There's many, like, reasons why you would feel lonely. And sometimes it requires a little bit of, like, in, like, those cases, like, when it comes to loss, it's kind of one of those situations where it just requires time and, grieving and whatnot. Um, but in, like, the cases of, like, just feeling like you don't belong, or just feeling like you're just not accepted by anyone, in any one of those cases, um, the trick to kind of, I guess, kind of getting a remedy for that feeling of, like, intense loneliness when, like, you feel like you don't belong, is just kind of like finding that comfortability within yourself and within the solitude itself. Now, that sounds really, really hard and very, very, like, painful, because, you don't want to be by yourself. The whole point is not to be by yourself. Well, a part of this life is, and it's really just kind of how it is, a part of this life is kind of learning to be within yourself. And when you're by yourself and, when you're, alone, you are in that space where you are allowed that time to figure stuff out. And it's like, even for me, that's hard to kind of understand, because I mean, like I said, you want to feel that first of all, you have to, find the things you love to do by yourself. Give me one moment. I'm gonna do some light therapy. But yeah, find those things that you love to do by yourself, whether it's like reading a book, playing video games, writing, exercising, dancing, singing, whatever you love to do by yourself. You know, do it. Give yourself that time and that space to do everything you like to do by yourself. And, fill yourself with that time. Fill yourself with that, those things like we all have to work, and some of us are still in school, like myself. So we sometimes don't have a lot of time in the day. But it's very important. It's very important for you to take that moment, out of your day. Take that moment to just be with yourself and have fun with yourself, even if it's the silliest thing you can think of. Even if it's like dancing, like in your pajamas and singing, and like, whatever. And like, don't be a disturbance to your neighbors, like myself. But like, have fun with it, because when you can have fun with yourself, it makes the loneliness feel so, like, it feels so small, It's when you don't know how to have fun with yourself is when, like, the loneliness feels a lot more dense. Just kind of gonna use an experience of mine. I'm gonna double back from like the last video I released, if you watched it. So I feel 10 times better since that video. Um, what I did after making that video, I put a hangnail. What I did after making that video is I took a day to just be with myself and to have fun for myself, just to go out, explore, and just like regain that sense of wonder that I used to have when I was a kid. That was what I wanted to do, because like I said, when you have fun with yourself, when you can find that sense of wonder that you used to have as a kid, when you used to, every day was a new adventure, every moment was a new situation. If you can find that sense of wonder, it makes that feeling of loneliness just disappear. So that's what I've been trying to do. Find that sense of, newness, kind of like reawakening my inner child. Because I was kind of raised to be a lone wolf, so to speak. It's just the way my mom raised us, is to be very independent. is because I can feel it happening right now. It's not that I'm hungry. Again, it's 4 in the morning. I kind of like took a nap when I was planning on shooting, so I was just like, yeah, I already slept a little bit. I can sleep a couple more hours before I have to go to work. But I have a weird sleep schedule. That's okay. I don't mind. It doesn't bother me. But anyways, what I was saying, yeah, um, just I took that day to just be with myself. Went to the park and I did something I haven't done in like over a decade, like maybe like 20 something years, and I'm not even joking. Um, I went on some swings, and I know that sounds childish, but I went swinging, and I was just swinging for like 30 minutes straight. I just didn't want to stop. I was having so much fun. I haven't had that much fun in a long time. And in that moment, I was kind of able, even if it was for just for 30 minutes, I was kind of able to feel what it was like to have that sense of wonder again. Have that sense of kind of discovering my inner child again. And when you get that, that sense of wonder, that restoration of your inner child, that willingness to explore, it doesn't matter if you're by yourself or if you're with someone, because every day is a new discovery, it's a new adventure, and you're just as happy to see it, see it for yourself and kind of reclaim that prize of whatever that day has to offer for yourself. Just as happy as you're able to share it with another person. So that's what I want to work on, and that's what I am working on. That's the purpose of the light therapy, is to kind of like trigger or make it easy for you to trigger that feeling of regaining that sense of being a child again, of embracing life at its fullest without any sort of expectations. Because those limits we put in our head, I'm not saying like safety limits, because you gotta be safe, but those limits we put in our head about the things that we can and can't do, it's illusions, and we need to break those things, and when it comes to meeting people and like embracing new people, the right people are going to like connect with you whether you like it or not. That's the one thing you have to understand. If you're not connecting with people, then they're just not the right people around you at the moment, and this has nothing to do with you. It's just kind of the circumstance. There we go. I felt it. I was like, it's gonna make noise. I feel it, like it's just whatever. But yeah, finding that sense of wonder is so important. It's so crucial for us as people to figure that out, because once we, lose touch of that, we kind of lose touch of our sense of humanity. And once we lose that, it's like we don't see the world as such a good place anymore. And I can tell you from experience, when you're in a place full of anger because you don't feel like you're accepted by the people around you, and not even the people you thought you would be accepted by, it's just like you start to lose that sense of wonder, that life is actually a gift. You start to see it as a plague. You start to see it as like a some sense of joy, some sense of feeling like, you know, like it opens you up. That's what you want. That's what you want to. That's what you want to feel. That's the trigger. That's it right there. So that's the trigger. Um, do that one thing that brings you that sense of openness, of feeling of fun, of enjoyment. Because even though we're like young adults or adults, we all deserve to play a little bit. You know, we all deserve to release our inner child, to explore that parts of ourselves that we used to just use daily. And that's how you cure that feeling of loneliness, because you don't see life as such a bad thing. You see it as fun. You see it as enjoyable. And people are naturally going to be drawn to that because they're going to want to have a piece of it. And that's fun. That's awesome. And if you feel like they're good enough, not good enough, but they're healthy enough for you to be, if you feel like they're healthy enough for you, I'm sorry, for you to have in your life, you know, they're not weighing you down, they're bringing you up, they're helping you out, then you should accept those people with open arms. But if you feel like they're draining you or causing you any sort of issues, then politely go your separate ways. It's nothing of them, but you have to do what's right for you. But that's the thing. Rediscovering that sense of wonder, that sense of fun. It'll bring you all the happiness you need. I forgot to light the incense. I think it's just a giant squid. I don't know if you can see it. It's not Cthulhu like I thought it was, which was a complete letdown. I wanted a Cthulhu lighter, god damn it. This light's starting to get dim. I gotta get some new batteries. Yeah. She died, y'all. She died. But yeah, I took the day, I went to the zoo, and that was fun. But I don't know, man, I kind of had mixed emotions, because, like, seeing those animals caged up in there kind of really bothered me. I don't, I like it. I just, you know, that is my own thing, but it's not mine. But, like, I have a really big soft spot for, like, animals. I really do. Like, I just seeing them, like, caged in there. It's just like I kind of pictured myself being caged like that, and I don't like it. So, like, I don't know. It's just my opinion. It doesn't mean anything. But just kind of like going to the zoo and just embracing that kid in me and just kind of enjoying that moment where, I can just be with myself. It was so much fun. And after that, I went and paid my taxes and whatnot. So after that, after being a kid for about like half a day, I went being an adult. But the point is, it was fun, and I enjoyed those moments with myself, because I wanted to rediscover that newness, because that feeling of loneliness came from the fact that I forgot, I forgot my inner child. I forgot to embrace that, because, like I said, I didn't really have the easiest upbringing. I mean, most of us haven't, so it's like excuses. But it's just people who tend to have really harsh upbringings tend to shut down when it comes to their inner child, because they feel like it's wrong. They feel like it's not accepted, that that you don't belong. So reawakening something that was already being put down as for a very long time. It's hard. It's hard, because you don't know if that's going to be accepted accepted now, but it's not about it being accepted. It's about you being happy with where you are and you enjoying the life that you have in front of you. And, whether you get weird looks or people stare at you weird or think, some sort of way about you, at the end of the day, like, you're living this life. You're the one living this life. It's your job to make it as enjoyable and as fun and as exciting and happy as possible. And if someone is judging you because you're trying to do that, then they're probably not doing that for themselves, and that's their problem. It doesn't make them bad people. They don't want to embrace that part of themselves. And, that's their decision. But I think it's essential because when you can't embrace your inner child, just the world seems so much more bland than it should be. It seems so sad and boring. And it's not supposed to be. It's supposed to be fun and enjoyable. And no matter what, I'm always here. So, if you're feeling lonely in any regards, I'll always be here to entertain you with my random outside noises, my just random surprise stomach noises, and probably my microphone making some weird buzzing that I don't know why it's making that buzzing sound. So let's hope it didn't do it this time because I had to edit out the last video. But I love you guys very much. And I appreciate all of you who subscribes to this channel and, put up with me. And I make these videos because I know how it feels to be, in that place where, people just aren't really grasping where you're coming from because either they've shut that part of them out for such a long time that they just chose to ignore it and they're not addressing it, or they just haven't lived the experience. And I try to provide as much honesty as possible because I'm living a human experience. Like, I'm not perfect. I'm not, I'm not more than anyone. I'm just me. And I like being just me. That's enough. And I don't want to be over anybody. I don't want to be considered more than anybody. I just like being me. And that's just fine. Because at the end of the day, that's all you got is you. And that's not a bad thing. Because you're all you need. You're all you're going to ever need. And if people want to join your journey, let them. Just make sure they're the right people. But they're going to join your journey whether you like it or not. Trust me. Our tribe always has a weird way of finding us. But before I finish the session and let you guys go for the night, I want to say, because I totally forgot to talk about it in the last video. I saw Boy Harsher, I think 2 weeks ago, and they were so good. I love that concert. For some reason, I had a trifecta of couples around me. I had a couple making out in front of me. I had a couple, the really tiny girlfriend with the big brawny boyfriend. That couple on this side of me. I had the couple smoking weed behind me, and I had a wall on my other side, and I'm trying to shh, 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 shh. I'm so sorry. I'm like, it's okay. Um, the couple in front of me just, the guy just kept his tongue in her throat, and it was just like, all right, I guess, that's what I kind of watched tonight. Um, and the couple on this side, every time I look this way, the boyfriend would give me this look of like, I dare you to look at her just once. I just dare you. And I'm just like, you know what? I'm just going to keep watching the band. That's what I'm going to do. Keep my eyes on the band because I ain't trying to start no useless confrontation that I don't even have to, don't even want to take part in. So I'm just like watching the band. I'm just like, why can't y'all just go somewhere else? Like, why can't all the single people just come by me so we can all like talk about life and like conquest? No, I was kind of like in my own world there. I was enjoying the moment. I really wasn't trying to like communicate with anybody. I was just kind of wanted to be with myself and just listen to the music and enjoy it for what it was. But like the couples were just kind of like, man, like what's going on? It got to a point where they were like, it was so packed, like the concert, like it sold out. It was so packed in there that they were like on me. So I had like the couple in front of me like making out, and I'm like, I don't want to be a part of this. And I got the couple over here with the guys like, if you touch her, I will rip your neck apart. And I'm like, please don't do that. And I got the couple smoking weed, bumping into me, constantly apologizing.